How are you?
Good, good. Thanks for inviting me for the discussion.
I thank you because it's I'm really happy. Again, I told you already that it's like an idea that I wanted to make already a while ago. I was always having these excuses like I don't have a proper setup for it,
Right.
and I don't know who to like have the conversations with.
Right.
And Centria is really great in this as an environment for me to ask people out for this.
Right.
And you're being really supportive, which gives me motivation as well. So thank you for that.
Great. Thank you very much for inviting.
I wanted to ask you about your background as of like because we discussed already on the during the classes that you did finish your master's degrees abroad.
Yeah.
So can you sort of explain that?
Actually, it's PhD abroad.
Oh, PhD. Okay.
yeah.
For some reason, I always think that it was master.
Well, I have 2 masters and 1 PhD.
Ah, okay.
But I'm a simple guy. Multiple degrees, but simple guy. So, yeah, my background is have a dual factors. I intended to go to music career as a jazz pianist. Applied to Sibelius Academy. I was actually there already, other leg in, but I dropped out some budget. They could only take 5, and I was in the 7 group. So it was quite a hard thing because I only was thinking about the music, but I already had commercial studies behind me. I have my father was an entrepreneur. Mother was a teacher in a polytechnic. I actually took her classes as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that a thing here? That's because in Czech Republic it tends to be that usually the teachers cannot really teach their kids.
Yeah, it was not my major. So
Okay.
It was kind of a, typewriting. I'm quite fast because of that.
Really?
Yeah, we had one exercise there in one class. I remember this is 30 years ago. She gave a class exercise to type as fast as you can. Then I was ready and I was asking, is there anything else? But I remember some summers in some summer cottage. I was already there doing some typewriting with the first row, like ADSL, or how was it? So there are early memories of that. That's one thing, just what happened. There are many things I haven't actually planned in my life, but I have to add also that faith is a really important factor in my personal life. Faith in God, and I cannot move that out if we are talking about what has happened, how, when. But yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. Yeah. As of you're in a Lutheran church, I suppose.
I have been raised in a Lutheran church.
Yes. Okay.
And then I've been raised in the Christian values, family, so forth. I had my own route in my early years. I little bit slided there, but then later I started to read Bible because I knew already what is in there, and I just knew that I have to make my own decision on that, and actually that changed many things, everything after that. It's like a pre and post of that.
This is a very interesting topic,
Yeah.
Because. So I've been basically raised as a I don't want to say atheist, but
Okay.
in a atheist environment, let's say, because Czech Republic is nowhere near as religious as Finland is.
Right.
And but throughout some history of my father being also an entrepreneur and then having some troubles, he started believing. I would say it's like 7 years ago or approximately.
Right.
And at some point, and he started to be really into religion. The main religion in Czech Republic is Roman Catholic.
All right.
And he took me for a Sunday mass a couple of times, and I was like, this is like amazing, and I really like that. And so now I'm in this sort of I'm not baptized, and I'm in this sort of a in-between step because I do believe.
Right.
Maybe not in the like a general idea of a gray-bearded guy sitting up in the sky, but in a higher power.
Yeah.
And I really love the sort of family and personal values of that Christianity is basically built upon.
Right.
But now I'm sort of entering my religious episode of so this is very interesting.
Yeah, I think it has to be a personal path. I'm now in Pentecostal church because my wife is from Oulu and their family background is from Pentecostal. And in Finland, there are differences. I have been raised in, like a, how would I say, Christian community mental. So I don't classify like this and that. And we are very much of that in Northern Europe and Finland. We tend to categorize religious things. But it's a personal thing, and I thought that at some point I have to also say this, because otherwise it's like I have done this, I have done that. It's my doings. I'm also believing in the God's leading in things. So,
how would you say it helped you throughout your journey?
Well, it gives certain confidence in your decisions, because you have values that are fixed in my subjective approach. So I'm not struggling between values, and world is having like a value storm at the moment. All the values are like moving, changing. It's like an agile methodology going on there. I'm really insensitive on that, because it doesn't affect me at all. No. So I can use my energy and being and living in things that are important. Of course, I'm not isolating myself. I like being with people and being that I'm an introvert. But I do have an extrovert switch. So I can be extrovert if needed. But if there's no like outside force, I'm pretty much going to introvert mode. So then it's time to think. I don't have to really speak if I don't have to speak. but I'm
sorry for bringing you in the extrovert world.
No. I really like being in the extrovert mode as well, but that's limited. I think I have certain amount of resources to be extrovert. So it's totally fine.
That makes sense.
And I as I said to you earlier, I really like your vision, having these interviews, and you can really go quite far with that vision, because you have strategy and you have a plan to interview some important persons. I think that's a great idea in social media world, whatever that is. But there's a certain red line that you're following, and you know where to go. So
it's amazing. I'm really excited for this new journey, and it might take years for me to break through it. I might not break through ever, but I feel like it's worth a try.
Yeah.
And I really love talking to smart people like yourself.
Well,
and
I leave that to you.
And especially in the past 2 years when I moved into Finland, I sort of realized the sort of value of information and knowledge, and I started to be interested in like everything, right?
That's good.
It's really good. I would like to have at least like 4 to 5 lifetimes in order to test out everything that I would want to do.
Great.
But I think this is sort of a shortcut for me to So I'm interested in nearly everything, and
Right.
it goes from I'm majoring in IT now, but it goes from IT to business, chemistry, biology,
Right. Right.
history as well, politics. As so all of these topics are really interesting to me, but I cannot really deep dive into them because there is just not enough time for that.
Right.
And so I feel like this could be a very good way for me to gain at least a general knowledge in all of those topics if I will be able to build up a platform sort of big enough for me to be able to interview people, people from different fields.
Right. I have a suggestion for you.
All right, go ahead.
Maybe you can do all of those things, but you can not go equally deep with each of those. One method would be, this is not a teaching situation, it's just my idea for you. You can follow the T-shape skills. So you choose one area that you go deeper than average of your, maybe you do masters, maybe PhD of something. I don't know. I don't say that you have to do formal degrees in order to understand things. You can understand many things. You can get knowledge. You don't have to study for that. But in markets and working life, it helps if you have degrees, of course. Yeah. So if you choose one area that is most interesting to you, and then you go deeper with that, and all the other areas, you can stick. If we just talk about formal degrees, you can stick with masters, like I have done. But I woke too late for this. Maybe not too late, but I was having years I didn't study after the PhD. I did research work in Oulu University, and then I came here to teach. And I'm also entrepreneur, so I have a background on that as well. And then I noticed after being 10 years here, hey, I can do degree in music in Centria. It took 10 years. So then I did Bachelor of Cultural and Arts here. And now I'm doing Masters in Music. And last year, when I finished the Bachelor in Music, I also completed the ITIS in Jyväskylä University as Masters. So I think I needed some years to just breathe and work and think about what's going on. And at the same time, the music path happened with the Swedish producer. It was only one song I put there for him. And I think this is one example of timing. I can't plan it. It's like a God's lead because I can't explain it. The song I sent to this Swedish producer, next day he sent email back to me. Hey, we are doing a record with Toto's singer Joseph Williams. Would it be possible if we take this song into this record? And then I was
amazing.
Like, well.
And then you denied, of course.
Yeah. But that started that kind of international music path, which I'm still doing. I have done. It's not correct to say I have done. I have been involved in 10 records, international records. Bill Champlin, Joseph Williams, and many professional, high-level Swedish studio musicians.
Is there any place that people could reach these?
Yeah. You can find the tunes in Spotify and YouTube. Maybe using the label, the titles. It's like a CWF.
CWF.
And abbreviation comes from Champlin, Williams, Fristedt.
Okay.
Fristedt is the Swedish producer guitarist.
Okay.
And for reference, there are two songs that I have co-wrote with Peter Fristedt. There are Michael Jackson's drummer is drumming there. Really? John Robinson. So you can Google John Robinson. He is playing in Michael Jackson's Bad record. So he's maybe the most recorded drummer in the world. Really, really famous.
That's amazing.
Yeah, Peter was studying in California maybe, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, 25. So he get in touch with Bill Champlin, who has been Chicago's lead singer. The band's maybe already too old for young people. Like, what? Chicago is, I only know the city. But if you Google Chicago and Toto, then you can get grasp of the singers. So in that network came like a John Robinson and other players there. But it has been an amazing journey, like blessing to me. I don't understand everything that is going on there. I just try to do my best and composed what ideas I have to the demos, send it out, send audio tracks, MIDI tracks, and then they are doing like a progressions of the tracks there in Sweden and States. And Tommy Malm is also being from Finland, another guy there in the two latest records. Tommy is a really, really professional guy from southern Finland. So we are both like a keyboardists and yeah.
What is it that? So it sounds like you have. I like music. I listen to music all day long, and from almost all the genres that you can imagine.
Yeah.
But I have no knowledge in music whatsoever. So for me, this is a little bit of a. I will definitely check all of it out because since I'm listening to music a lot, I'm kind of running out of stuff to listen to. So I'm happy to get some new stuff. But it sounds like you have already quite a lot of experience in it. What do the studies bring for you?
I'm also teaching in conservatory here. And also, not at the moment, but earlier I had many years piano students here. Maybe next year, I don't know. It depends how many students are in and do they have teachers and so forth. But I actually was not having the, how do you say, the competence degree for teaching piano. Because I only had the secondary level degree, and they require at least candidate or master's level. So I thought that this is not right. I'm teaching and I don't have the competence. I don't have the formal competence. So I thought that now is time to update that. And of course, it went really fast. I got the degree in 1 year because I had. In Finland, you know, you were talking about these different areas of interest. I think you are in the right country if you want to do the educational paths. This is the treasure country for that because we have so many options here. So I also had a lot of it's not grade transfer, but you convert your skills to credits. We have tools to do that. If you can show your skills in certain ways, it can be formalized in the credits.
Yes.
So we are doing that all the time.
I had a couple of courses accepted, it's also an RPO, so recognition of prior learning, but based on not education, previous education, but based on work experience.
Right. So I had bands, I had some earlier studies composing international collaborations, projects, academic background since the business PhD masters. So it was a lot of combining things together, and of course I did some courses, of course. But I think it's important to always learn something, to be in study mode. I think you have to be in that mode all the time to be interested in things. And if some morning you woke up and you are working in some company or doing whatever you are doing, if it's not interesting, then it's time to stop. what a pro. What's going on? But for your case, still, I want to say
yes,
in Finland, if you have masters in one area, one field, you can do masters in 2 years in any field in Finnish university system.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That's very interesting.
I think that would be one key for you if you want to go like a multi-fields.
Yeah, that is one thing that would help me a lot because so basically my sort of a vision or a long-term plan for life, I guess. I would really like to, I do like IT, but I would like to be as a sort of a professional in IT interconnected with healthcare.
Right.
In some sort of a research.
Right.
And I would like to do entrepreneurship as well. So these two mainly. And if there will be some time left, I would also like to part-time teach, if possible, then in a university.
Right.
Those are like the three main goals. So these would be the things that I would want to dedicate most of the depth to. And then I would like to know everything else as well, but maybe not as much in.
I think that's possible if you are now concentrating the studies, of course. But then when you have the first degree, then you start to work, or maybe you start a company. I don't know what the order is. But if you continue studies while you are working, then using these 2-year blocks, it doesn't take that many years. Still you're working all the time, and you can also combine working for private sector and establishing your own business. You can do as a side business.
Yes, that's.
So I would go with multi-tracks because I can recognize some elements that you are doing that I end up doing.
Okay.
I don't know. I have always been doing multiple things at the same time, and I'm not interested only like in music. I'm interested in different things. It doesn't bother me to be not playing in like 2 months or 3 months. When I'm doing that, I'm like in fire for that. But I don't like crave for that. And, I haven't been playing for. It's like I try to combine all the things together. That whatever I'm doing in music or like a jazz improvising, I can apply that in business, because if you talk about innovations, I just turn the switch on to a little bit more to improvising. It's not difficult to create new things. I'm not saying this as a bragging. I'm just saying out loud that how it is.
It is. You know. I noticed this especially when I finished Erasmus here and I started to work. I started to. I feel like in the past 2 years I've grown up the most, like significantly the most. I feel like before coming here for the Erasmus, I was still kind of like a teenager and going all around drinking and stuff, and during the Erasmus as well. And then I realized like this is not the way to go. This is not the way that I want to go, at least. And I found out that I started to work really hard and basically using the free time to do work that I like, and instead of, I don't know, being on social media or so. And all of a sudden I was finding myself filling my to-do lists with ideas of projects and stuff, and it sort of comes naturally. Exactly like you say, that when you do quote unquote dedicate yourself towards multiple fields or innovations, then or rather maybe self-developments, so to say, the ideas or the creativity, at least for me, and seems like as for you as well, comes along. It just kind of happens.
That's right. And one thing connected to that, like a practice or ideology or some principles that you named. World is quite much about increasing value all the time. We must do only valuable things, and I a little bit disagree on that. of course, from business side, I understand that the companies, people have to create value for, businesses have to create value for customers and with customers. It's like a modern thing that you create value with different parties together. But that's easily going to follow to your private life, so that you start to think that, hey, everything I do must add value somehow. You are in the value chain or value jail. You know, you are only just thinking that, is this useful? Does this bring value to me? And many times you might end up going to some social media apps. You can spend hours there, and then it's like a maybe great time, but afterwards, like, I didn't learn anything. And you know, this is the end result. Then I give it all to you. I think people must more choose to do things that are meaningful, not valuable, meaningful to them. I know I'm not talking about individualistic life, like I do only things that I like, but choose things also from the perspective that they don't bring specifically value. Maybe you are doing some primitive things, like I end up doing many things that are maybe insane. They are not connected to the modern world at all. I like to go to ice swimming, but I like to dig my own hole.
Really?
Yeah. I haven't done that in the past year so much because of the time restrictions, but and it takes many hours to do that, maybe 6-7 hours. We have cottage in seaside, so that's one thing I really like to do. There's no point to do that, but it's meaningful for me to go back to some areas in a very primitive mode. Even you have all the technology in the modern world to do things with the phones and computers and artificial intelligence and so forth. But I think the digging the hole with the saw is as important to me as reading like a very interesting research on artificial intelligence. So sometimes it took. One day I remember the ice was maybe 45 centimeters thick, so it's like up to your knee. And you can imagine I was digging a hole maybe like a 1 meter long and 40 centimeters wide. And there were two elderly ladies, like aged ladies, doing the fishing in the ice, because that area where we have, there's a lot of ice fishing activity. So they were like maybe 30 meters away from that I was doing that. That took me maybe 3.5 hours to dig that hole. But I liked that. And then the ladies were fishing, and then they went by and they said to me that, what you are doing? I understood that their approach. I said that, hey, I'm digging an ice hole. I'm going to swim here in the pit, and then taking sauna. And then they said that, did you know that there's a ice swimming official place 200 meters there? And I said, yes, I know that, but I choose to do this. Thank you for the tip.
That's amazing.
But that's an example that I do quite peculiar things sometimes that make no sense. I know there are a lot of people doing ice swimming in Finland, maybe 800,000 members in some organizations or associations. It exploded in the corona because people couldn't go abroad. But so the ice swimming itself, it's not like a thing, but the activity we choose, like doing some things that doesn't produce value, is something that I many times end up doing.
I believe I struggle a little bit with this, and because just as you mentioned, I'm now sort of trying to create value all the time, and it ends up sometimes burning me out, and then it takes a while for me to sort of get back on track. But so again, I feel like now I'm finally in the phase of maturing a little bit. So I have to just figure this stuff out a little bit.
Sorry to confuse you.
No, it's fine. It's
but I think it also relates to age. So when you are young age, you have more energy and you have to go forward maybe with the more speed. So go for it. But yeah, you're right. It takes energy. Maybe there's a risk of burning out also. But you have to take rest, sometimes a forced rest. So that means that you are not doing anything that is connected to your value production.
Yeah, I have to figure that one out yet.
It might also feel like a frustrating because then you just slow down in order to breathe a little bit.
I did try. So I had a couple of sessions. I don't know if Onti service tells you anything, but it's sort of like the person I had assigned. It was 5 sessions. She was telling me, "We are not a therapy," but it was totally a therapy. But it was not that I really necessarily needed it, but it's a benefit that my workplace offers. So I was like, let's try it out.
Right.
And a lot of the talk was like, yeah, I kind of know that already.
Yeah.
But there were some interesting inputs in, and one of very interesting things was she told me I was telling her my schedule, what I do usually, how my work week looks, and et cetera, et cetera. She was like, and after I finished, she asked. So in this time frame, when do you have like a day or some time slot for yourself that you don't do anything?
Right.
I'm like, what? Well, the day when you just lay in bed and watch the TV or something, just to regain the batteries. And I was like, I never thought of it that way. It just didn't even occur to me that because when I had this time, I was like, oh. Finally, I have time to do the to-dos that are stinking in my to-do list for a long time already.
Right.
And she was like, no, you have to have some sort of a time. And then I implemented a day 1 week, a couple of weeks ago. I said this Saturday, I'm not doing anything whatsoever. No sports, no nothing. I will just go to a cafe, read a book or learn a little bit of Finnish or something, just something, right?
Yeah.
And I woke up on Saturday and I was like, okay, this is it. So what do I do? What do I do? And I was like, I didn't physically know what to do. I was kind of lost. So I just went for a walk, talked with my granny and with my girlfriend, and then we went mushroom picking. And anyways, point being that this is so again, I'm kind of figuring this out so far.
Right.
And especially now when I'm finishing the bachelor's and I have a lot of work, it's hard because I need the time to do the thesis and etc.
Right.
So now I'm not able to do it anymore. But I will again put that in my schedule at some point.
For me, that's really easy because I have a principle that's not mine, but again from the Bible. Seventh day is off, so
yeah, that
I don't think that I don't have to think that at all. I just take the 7th day off.
I guess I have to mentally break this this feeling of procrastinating. I don't like that word, but it's nowadays everybody
because the Bible and the Jewish culture is very, as we know, they are very integrated. So in Jewish culture, they say they have this principle for the off day, the holy day. You don't progress anything. That's the key. Don't do anything that progress your life. I mean, you have to eat, of course, but you know where the line is with your projects. Yes. You don't progress those things when the day is.
That's interesting. I have to take a take some better stance at that.
But that's like a habit. I mean, if you want to do things, I don't say that you or anybody have to do what I'm doing. Of course, that's naive thinking. But we are now discussing. I'm giving you some examples how I approaching things, not of my own. But yeah, there are many practices. Like maybe some years ago, I had this kind of a inner, maybe God's intervention that woke up early to do things, and I didn't do that then. It was like, if you want to get the completion with things and many projects, woke up early, and then I slept. I didn't woke up early, but now I have been waking early. I have doing it. It's quite fresh, but I have doing it for weeks now. I have been waking early. This morning, 6 o'clock. I do some things before breakfast, maybe 1.5 hours. Physical work now. I go outside to do some woodwork or some cleaning backyard or something like that. It requires some, you have to sweat a little bit. But it's like, okay, there's a value. I'm also doing valuable things for the property, but at the same time, I'm gaining strength to myself, maybe losing some weight or giving it maintenance or something like that. But I have noticed that, hey, I have more energy now. Even I have worked before the breakfast. The day is different. I'm now more energized than the times when I slept like late, do things late. But I'm learning. If you have some advice, go. I mean, if you know you have to do something, then do it. Don't delay it. I'm really happy for you that you took the encourage to go over your, I don't say fears, but maybe mountains of challenges. You have now started it. I think it must be feeling really good that you are in the path now. It doesn't kill you. It doesn't burn you out. This is a great thing. We can discuss next interview is more valuable or meaningful than I am. And after 10 steps, you are maybe interviewing some president
I will be
or president of company.
That would be amazing. I do have already planned interview with one of my friends who is coincidentally recently a new CEO of a startup company doing solar panels in Finland. So
Great.
soon that might happen, but I'm not sure how much we will talk about his work as well, probably. But I know him. He's my coach from judo. We will probably talk a little bit about that, and we are quite good friends. At least I feel like I feel like so. So that will be an interesting
I think that's a great form that you are doing, and that thing that the team is open. You have not fixed it's like a not even semi-structured. It's like open. It's flow. So regardless who you are interviewing, it doesn't have to be connected to the earlier interviews.
No,
because
not at all.
Your main frame is already set. It's like an open discussion with interesting people. You can come up with any slogan.
I will definitely at some point when it starts rolling a little bit. Sometimes maybe even invite a couple of my friends and just have fun. Like just I don't know, watch something and just talk smack.
But there's like a story in your plan and vision.
Yes.
I like that really much. I think there's a success built in that.
Thank you. Your support is very good for me, especially now. I believe that you're one of the most important interviews or podcast episodes that I will have because it's the first one. So you're encouraging me to do it. So I'm really happy about that. Hopefully.
At least different. Yeah.
One of the topics that we were touching was education, which is for me. I'm basically coming from a family full of teachers. My father is now teaching. My mom was a kindergarten teacher. My granny, both my grannies were teaching for I think 30 years.
Yeah.
So this is like a very a topic that is really close to my heart. And so one thing that I really wanted to ask you about was your studies in the US. How did you get there? How did you enjoy it? What are the differences between there and Finland, etc.?
Right.
Anything that you feel like interesting?
Yeah. I think it started from my professor saying in Oulu University that if you want to do the thesis fast, go abroad. That was one sentence, like that nailed it. So I did 2 years my PhD courses and then 2 years the book. So, but the path to US was very interesting. We didn't have like ready programs at university. I started to send direct emails to my articles that were in my PhD plan to authors. So I just sent them emails. I'm doing this kind of research, PhD, could you supervise me? I will come to your university. And then I was interested in going to States and Israel, because I have some Jewish roots actually from back, I don't know, 600, 700 years. But that's another thing. I'm not like a, well, we might have strong roots. I don't know. It seems so from my parents' values and the things how they have been living, and it's very how would I say, Israel oriented. So it has, as it in Bible it said that bless Israel so you will be blessed. So it's deep in my heart as well from the childhood and so forth. So I have visited Israel 2 times, and one university opened up there, and then 3 places in States. And actually that supervisor in Israel, he died in the process. So that kind of closed. Then I didn't know what the university in States
I'm
were.
sorry to interrupt. That if he didn't die, would you choose Israel above the States?
I don't know, because it was early in the process stages. I have always dreamed of going to States, because my musical genre, the style is from California, LA, more like instrumental side. And one of my friends here, he's now passed, but he actually took me into his home, played records, offered me sandwiches, we ate, we just listened. He thought that, hey, listen to this record. And everything I do today is from that kind of ideas and the language. But the universities in States, I couldn't choose actually. I couldn't rank because I didn't have any reference, like, are they good, bad, what should I do? Then I remembered that, hey, I had one lecturer from New York in PhD courses in Helsinki, and what time? At one time, Abraham Ravid. He was also from Israel, but working in very high positions in New York universities. So I sent him email that, hey, I have 3 places here. What would you choose? And he said immediately, like a no-brainer, go to San Diego, UCSD. Then I went there. So I had the Japanese professor there, really, really high professional. He had done research on the topics I was doing my papers, and we met every week. I kept like a meeting agenda. I didn't have to do that, but I sent him what we have done last time, what's the task for next meeting and so forth. I was quite organized. I wanted to do it that way he never required to me to keep like a memos of our meetings. But we met every week, and then it was great time. We supposed to be there like 1 year first, and then I applied extension second year because I know that I needed another year with him to progress 3 papers and so forth. So yeah, academics was one thing, and then when you live in another country like you are doing now, it's a different thing than that going abroad like a tourist, like just a short visit. You get to know the culture, you get to know the habits, the bad sides, good sides. And I noticed that in California, the innovative kind of thinking is real. I didn't see like a hype, what we see in movies, like is it so or is it not so? Maybe the surfers are hyped because the water is not warm there, because there's a cold stream, actually. We tend to think that California is really warm.
That's interesting. I didn't
If you watch the
realize
surfers, real surfers, there, they always wear suits, like full suit. Well, it was interesting to see what the society with low level of social structure, like a social, how would I say, the social structure in the government side, because it's not so high or maybe non-existent in the States. If you are not working, you drop out from the insurance cycles, and you are not connected to the society anymore that much. So if you drive like 30 kilometers or miles there, or 40 miles, maybe 10 miles to some direction, you get immediately to the rural areas that are not that great. So I noticed quite quickly that the society is polarized. There are people that are working, and then other people maybe not working. I don't know how much those people like a distribution of the population doesn't care, but yeah, it's different. It's very different. I like the cultural vibe that is in the States. It's very active. It's very entrepreneurial, at least in California. People are really doing things because maybe they have to do things. If you are an entrepreneur, you just have to go there. Maybe it's a little bit easier in Finland or Europe. But yeah, it opened up my eyes in many ways. Also spiritually. We attended, or actually joined one church there, really active church. I still have those those with me that we learned there, but also the eyes open like spiritually, that hey, the believer's life really can be or should be active, and when there's challenges, I can fight back, and things like that. And then when you come back to Finland, you notice that hey, this is really good country. There are things that I didn't actually see before I left. So I'm not the same when I left here and came back. And maybe the way I approach the global things or any like international things, it's a different thing. It's maybe a little bit more mature, maybe a little bit more calm, like don't have to worry about all details or speculate. So
I feel like that's just my point of view, but I feel like especially nowadays when we have these amazing possibilities, the technology to connect with people all around the world within seconds, and I believe that now for active people it's sort of you can outline your values, what do you want to do, and then based off of that basically choose where to live.
yeah.
So Finland would be more of a place for people who want the life to be a little calmer and who would want to be supportive / supported by the government for the high tax. So it's like a pros and cons, of course. Whilst, for example, the US would be a place where you want to go if you want to do everything yourself, if you want to be really active, push through, make a lot of money, I suppose. But on the great side is that I recently was listening to a podcast and they were mentioning that California is about to raise their tax to 14% and how crazy 14% is for a US citizen, right?
Yeah. Right.
And whilst here you can get taxes up to 50%, right?
Yeah.
So, and even more. So there is this feeling for people who never went outside, not talking about vacationing, but living abroad, that they are like there is world outside to see, but they're all like rooted in the place where they live.
Right.
And I really realized this when I moved into Finland. It's like now I can move anywhere in the world. I can go to Japan, I can go to South America, I can go to Africa, China, wherever.
You are going to Japan.
Hopefully I will go to Japan. So the point being is that people are now able to decide based off of their values what is the closest thing to what they like and move there and live there. You don't have to change the nationality for it most of the times. It's a thing that people should be much more open to, I believe. This sort of idea of going somewhere where the values, like if you are living in Hungary and you don't agree with Orban's way of ruling, just go abroad. If you're not aligned with how Hungary works, go somewhere else. I don't have anything against Hungary. It was just the first thing to pop in my head. But what would be like an advice to younger people that you would give if they want to go abroad, specifically in the US, for example? What would you give to the, for example, students here or any people, let's say my age? Or is there any?
I would say in general level that don't do things that are trending if they are not lined up your own interest and motivation. I think many decisions are going wrong because you are just doing things because everybody is doing things. Going abroad is a very good thing. I would recommend everybody that go abroad, live there as an exchange or working or something else. I don't think the country matters that much. Of course, States is attracting country because they are leading in the economy with China or after China. It's so competing at the moment that we don't know. If you are like considering States, you have to have a certain financial background, like a sponsorship or scholarships or whatever. It's really hard to go there to compete. Let's say you are going there to work. I wouldn't choose that because I don't want to go that in competitive society. If I didn't go there to work, great. Just like visit California for 1 month or 6 months or something like that. But for students, we have great networks at Centria to go maybe anywhere, like Asia, Europe, States and so forth. So you can almost choose what to do. Of course, you have to apply and so forth. But do things and make decisions that are interesting, that are interested to you and you are motivated in. And watch out the trends. What is hot today is probably not hot to you, or tomorrow, or what was hot yesterday. It's important to know yourself and get to know your interest, motivation, and what is deep inside you that you can manage yourself, whatever the situation is. of course, we are all human. I'm speaking also to myself that we must be aware and of course, it's difficult to say I have the faith inside, so that's a high factor in my decision making. So I'm also led by things that I don't know exactly what is going to be happening. So, but my recommendation is that be active, be positive, do things that are close to your heart and mind. Stage is a great option. At least it was for me. I think that's afterwards one of the great years in my life when we went there. And we had our first child was only 9 months when we went there. So it could be easy excuse that, oh, let's not go because of that.
That's really interesting.
And our second child was born in California before we came back. So
that is really interesting.
He can
it's quite funny that he can say that. I was born in California.
And then I can say, get out of here. I'm not.
Yeah, but that's so really interesting.
We have 4 children. So one is born here and spent 3 minus years, 2+ years there. And one is born there and 2 born here. Youngest is a girl and then we have 3 boys. And for girl, I have said that you will be always doing fine because you have 3 big brothers. You are not afraid of any. It's like you have hard skin.
That's good. I want to ask about that because I mean it's really easy for me as a 23-year-old to give advices to older people as well. Yeah. But a lot of times I'm talking but a lot of times I'm talking to my friends, for example, and they're like, oh, I would like to do that, but blah blah blah, and I'm like, just do that. Like you're I don't know 55 or something, but that doesn't mean that you cannot do that.
Right,
like
right.
just it is the same issue for you just as it is for me. Like you and maybe it's even easier for you because unlike me, you have a financial stability at least. Right. So like this is something that is really interesting to me because a lot and especially kids is a thing that people are having in their heads as a sort of an obstacle. Obstacle. I don't mean it in a bad way, but obstacle as in like moving, for example. So, what was the sort of a thought process behind that? Like you were having you said 9 months old kid, and so what was the thought process and why did you say that okay, we will do it anyways?
Because it would be very easy excuse for most of the people. Like we have a small child, so we stay home. It's like a no-brainer. We were going abroad. So we had that talk with my wife, and he always encouraged me. Like I tend to have I don't know. Is it laziness or introversion things? It's hard to sometimes be active in all areas, you know. She was always asking, have you now sent the applications to scholarships and so forth? Have you now sent the emails to he was very supportive in this thing and always reminding me, have you applied? Have you applied? Yes, I am. And good that reminded me.
She did, your wife?
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, she's also in business, master's business. So she actually got first in the Oulu before me.
Really?
I didn't go. I didn't actually plan to apply there in Oulu.
Oh.
So I just started to read the books for her, like with her. For would be wrong word because I supported the reading process of her to support that we can share a little bit. Then I thought that hey, I have read these books. Maybe I just apply, but I didn't get that the first time. I just I have had this admission entrance struggles, but then I decided that hey, I know what to do. This was so close. I know what to do. I do it. I go next time, next year. I'm in. Then I went. So, but yeah, this is like a teamwork. When you have a family, you have a family. You are not that doing things yourself. Then we decided early already that okay, we are going abroad. Child is part of life. We were already planning that too. So two things happened together. So it didn't affect our decision. We just went as we thought. Please go.
And how would you say that it? But I guess the child was. You were in California for 2 years. You said.
Yeah.
Okay, so that the child was like sort of too young to have like struggles with switching schools or stuff.
Yeah, no.
And,
it's easy to go when the kids are.
And what about your wife? She was also going to study in California, or she was working?
No, she was taking care of our.
Oh, okay, she was at home. Okay.
In California, they absolutely didn't understand our Finnish social security system.
I can imagine.
Your parents can be home, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years.
That's
in States, it's like a couple of weeks.
My my mom was pregnant with me in the time when my father had his like sort of financial entrepreneurial peak.
Right.
So we were quite wealthy at that time.
Yeah.
And wealthy, quote unquote.
Right.
She was on a pregnancy leave for 7 years.
Right. Right. And that happened to us too, because we had maybe 2 years, 3 years. So 10, 11 years went by.
Yeah, it was because my father's mentality was like, I want her to take the best care possible of the child, so I was just like support that.
Right.
But yeah, I can totally imagine that for the U.S. people, it can be absolutely ungraspable because.
And you know the box government is sending to families here. There's full of baby clothes, equipment, devices, whatever. It's amazing.
I have a very similar sort of comparison with security here in Finland and back in Czech. And Czech is not like a dangerous country whatsoever, but still the Central Europe, rather towards East Europe, is a little less secure than maybe a little more less secure than Finland is. And I'm always talking about this with my friends, and I'm like, you barely even lock your bikes here, and they're like, no, you have to lock your bike. Bikes are getting stolen so much. I'm like, yeah, but you lock your bike as the rim with the wheel, which in Czech Republic means that the thief is just gonna hop it on his shoulder and run away with it.
Right.
Like for Finnish people, that's even like they don't even consider that an option.
Right.
Which is exactly this what you say that I can believe that in US people are like, what do you mean a year of a vacation? Yeah, I can imagine.
Right.
It is coming to 11:30.
Okay.
Actually, in a minute.
We can also do a second session if you want.
If you want to, we can continue. I have time, but if you want to go for lunch or so, we can just have a second session.
Yeah, I have a few minutes because I have one meeting with the student.
Oh, that's true. You said so. You said
but
so.
We can continue a few minutes, and we can do another session if you want. It would be wise to interview different people, of course.
Yeah.
but being this as a first time, you can choose whatever. I'm available if you want to continue.
First of all, I want to give a great thanks to you and to Centria as well, because they landed me their equipment.
Right.
Might be there some struggles later on. I just found out that it has to, in order for me to recurringly borrow it, it has to be somehow connected with the studies. I cannot have it as a outer project.
Right.
So I have to do something. I guess I'll just try to talk to somebody.
You are rehearsing the technology and do it.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to somebody and I will probably give some put some like a Centria watermark over it or so, and try to maybe beg for like 1 credit for it, so I can have that as an excuse for for it, maybe within some project or so. Great thanks to you and to Centria. I'm really happy that this is an opportunity that I have now.
Yeah, I'm happy to help. As I said, whatever your vision is, I will support that. When you said that, like we are doing the podcast, then how about video and all the other stuff? I thought that whatever you have in mind, if I can be part of it, supporting it, I will do it without hesitance, because personal vision is something that if you have something in mind, if you want to go somewhere, you have that. I don't see it, but you see it. I trust your vision that whatever that is, let people help that. I don't want to anyhow modify or give you any advice other than support, give some positive things about that you will get far with this form. The form is great. Do whatever it requires. Go there. You will find lots of similar people around there. If you present this like in a compact way, that I'm doing this, could you do this? I'm sure you will get a lot of better different people to interview, and you will get far with this forum. I hope you to keep it alive years to come. It's up to you. Whatever your vision is, follow that, and go for it. If it's someday like me with my music, that I don't require myself to all the times like play something. If it's like you need to breathe sometimes, give it the breathe time. Do a 6-day week. It helps. But I'm really glad that you asked me that. It's also great thing to do things with students. I really like that. For example, your group that I'm teaching, really active students, skilled people, clever people. Lot of wisdom in there. I don't just say it out loud. I'm part of that group. I definitely cannot be only your teacher, because I think I don't have enough competence to teach that great group. I'm speaking for all the other groups, but now your group is the one we are doing now. So I have really enjoyed that too. I enjoy being with active students and active people. There's not a point anywhere that you have problems with active people.
It is amazing. I have to give you praise as well as a teacher. You are one of the few teachers that was able to make us talk. So we do discuss stuff during the lectures, which is sometimes a little difficult for other teachers. So I would like to give you praise as well. You're an amazing teacher as well.
That was one thing actually. I thought that, because I have been mostly involved with business students, of course some engineering as well, but I know from the frameworks and the concepts that technical and engineering, that the discussion is not so bursting than in business, because we are just the natures are different. So before we started, I thought that how can I get the group to discuss, because it's from different roots. But I have been really surprised. I have learned so much, and I always we have sessions. I'm surprised with your groups discussing from the technology point of view. It's not common, I would say.
So far, it's going great. Before we close, last quick question: is there any sort of like a motto or sort of value that you live by, or that you would advise people to to follow, or some general advice?
Well, maybe not motto, but because of the value storms in the world and the different kind of confusion, people have to find something that is bigger than them. I have found it from my faith to God. So that gives me much security. You can't force anybody to do that, but I can speak from myself. And I hope that people are in the searching mode, and they are open. They are open to things that their heart can be receptive to whatever, because those times happens only a few times in a lifetime. I mean, maybe the God's call, maybe something like that connects people to faith. That happens a few times in a lifetime. If you are alert then, if you are listening and you are open, things can happen then. I didn't plan this, what happened to me, but I have, of course, the background of the family, and I knew the things, but I also went away. I came back, so to speak. I live that life now, so keep searching.
Amazing. Thank you very much for coming. I'm really sure that we will do a second, maybe even a third episode at some point.